Imagine a summer morning in 1908. Deep in the Siberian wilderness, a remote and desolate landscape, the sky suddenly splits open. A fireball, brighter than the sun, streaks across the horizon. Then, an explosion of unimaginable force. The blast flattens over 80 million trees, scorching an area larger than New York City. The shockwave knocks people off their feet hundreds of kilometers away. For nights afterward, the sky over Europe glows so brightly that people can read newspapers at midnight. This was the Tunguska Event, an explosion with the power of 15 megatons of TNT, 1,000 times more powerful than the bomb dropped on Hiroshima. It was an apocalyptic blast that occurred decades before the atomic age. And here's the most baffling part. There was no crater, no sign of impact. Nothing but a vast, circular forest of flattened trees, all pointing away from a mysterious, untouched center. What could have caused such devastation, and then vanished without a trace? For over a century, this question has haunted scientists, investigators, and dreamers, turning the Tunguska Event into one of history's greatest unsolved mysteries. Today, we're venturing into the heart of Siberia to uncover the truth behind the day the sky fell. The first scientific expedition didn't reach the Tunguska site until 1927, nearly 2 decades after the event. What Leonid Kulik and his team found was surreal. An immense butterfly pattern of destruction stretched across 2,000 square kilometers. The trees at the very epicenter were still standing, but they were stripped bare of their branches, like skeletal telephone poles. Further out, the trees were all blown over, their trunks pointing away from the center. It was the clear signature of a massive explosion that had happened in the air, not on the ground. This led to the prevailing theory: a cosmic intruder. Scientists believe a stony asteroid or a comet, roughly 60 meters wide, entered Earth's atmosphere at a blistering speed of over 50,000 kilometers per hour. The immense pressure and heat caused it to detonate in a catastrophic airburst, about 5 to 10 kilometers above the ground. This would explain the widespread destruction without an impact crater. The object itself would have vaporized instantly, releasing its colossal energy into the atmosphere. But if this is the case, where is the evidence? The search for fragments of this cosmic visitor has been one of the longest and most frustrating hunts in scientific history. Expeditions have combed the area, sieving through soil and drilling into peat bogs, hoping to find meteoritic debris. For decades, they found almost nothing. It was a cosmic crime scene with no weapon. It wasn't until years later that scientists, analyzing tree resin from the blast zone, found microscopic silicate and magnetite spheres with unusually high levels of nickel and iridium, elements common in asteroids but rare on Earth. These tiny clues are our strongest physical evidence that something from space caused the Tunguska explosion. The case seems solid, but the lack of a smoking gun, a significant identifiable fragment, has left the door open for a flood of more imaginative theories. When you have a mystery this big, with so little concrete evidence, human imagination runs wild. And the Tunguska Event has inspired some of the most fascinating and bizarre theories ever proposed. One of the earliest alternative ideas was a massive underground gas explosion. The theory goes that a huge bubble of natural gas, trapped beneath the Siberian permafrost, suddenly erupted with explosive force. This could explain the lack of a crater, but it struggles to account for the fireball seen streaking across the sky or the traces of extraterrestrial minerals found later. Then things get even stranger. Some have proposed that a tiny black hole passed straight through the Earth. In this scenario, the black hole would have entered through Tunguska and exited on the other side of the planet, in the North Atlantic. The shockwave from its passage through the atmosphere would have caused the explosion. While it's a mind-bending idea, there's zero evidence to support it, and the physics don't quite line up with the observed destruction. Another exotic theory involves antimatter. What if a piece of antimatter collided with our regular matter atmosphere? The resulting annihilation would have produced a massive burst of energy, consistent with the explosion. But again, where would a chunk of antimatter even come from? And of course, no great mystery is complete without involving aliens. One popular fringe theory suggests the explosion was a crashing alien spaceship, perhaps one with a nuclear-powered engine that went critical. This idea has fueled countless science fiction stories, and some people genuinely believe it. They argue that an intelligent craft might have deliberately chosen a remote area to crash land to minimize casualties. While it's an exciting thought, just like the other alternative theories, it remains pure speculation, unsupported by any credible evidence. While the scientific consensus firmly points to an asteroid airburst, these alternative ideas show just how deeply the Tunguska mystery has captured our collective imagination. The Tunguska Event wasn't just a local Siberian catastrophe, it was a cosmic near-miss for the entire planet. Let's put it into perspective. The object that exploded over Tunguska was relatively small in cosmic terms, only about the size of an office building. Yet it unleashed energy equivalent to a major thermonuclear bomb. Now consider the timing. The Earth rotates at about 1,600 kilometers per hour. If the object had arrived just 4 or 5 hours later, its path would have taken it over densely populated Europe. An airburst of that magnitude over a major city like London, Paris, or at the time St. Petersburg, then the capital of Russia, would have been an unprecedented disaster. The destruction would have been absolute. The fireball would have incinerated the city center. The shockwave would have leveled buildings for kilometers in every direction. Hundreds of thousands, perhaps millions, would have been killed in an instant. The course of 20th century history would have been irrevocably altered. Tunguska was a wake-up call, a stark reminder that we live in a cosmic shooting gallery. This is why planetary defense is no longer the realm of science fiction. Today, space agencies like NASA and the ESA actively track thousands of near-Earth objects, or NEOs. Projects like the Planetary Defense Coordination Office work to identify any asteroids or comets that could pose a threat. We're not just watching anymore, we're learning how to fight back. In 2022, NASA's DART mission, the Double Asteroid Redirection Test, successfully slammed a spacecraft into a small asteroid to change its orbit. It was the first time humanity had ever altered the motion of a celestial body. It was a proof of concept, showing that if we find a dangerous asteroid early enough, we might be able to nudge it out of our way. The Tunguska Event serves as a powerful motivator for these efforts, reminding us that the threat is real, and that preparation is our only defense against another silent, fiery arrival from the depths of space. Beyond the science and the speculation, the Tunguska Event forces us to confront some profound questions. What does it mean to live on a planet that can be struck by such random, overwhelming force at any moment? For many, it's a humbling lesson in our own fragility. It reminds us that, despite all our technology and ambition, we are subject to cosmic events far beyond our control. In a spiritual context, an event like this can be interpreted in many ways. Some might see it as a simple, random accident in a chaotic universe. Others might see it as a warning. In Islamic tradition, for instance, the Quran speaks of the sky being filled with signs, ayat, for those who reflect. An event like Tunguska, a fire from the sky that devastates a remote, empty part of the world, could be seen as a powerful reminder of divine power and the delicate balance of our existence. It demonstrates that the universe is not a quiet, empty stage for human drama, but a dynamic and sometimes violent place. It's a call to look up, to appreciate the beauty and the danger of the cosmos, and to recognize our small but precious place within it. The event strips away our illusion of control, forcing us to consider that our world could be reshaped in an instant by forces we can neither predict nor prevent. So where does the mystery stand today? More than a century later, the consensus in the scientific community is firm. The Tunguska Event was caused by the airburst of a small asteroid or comet. The evidence from the treefall pattern, the lack of a crater, and the discovery of microscopic extraterrestrial particles all point to this conclusion. But the mystery endures because we've never found that one definitive piece of evidence, a large fragment of the object itself. The cosmic visitor was utterly annihilated in the explosion, leaving behind only the ghost of its presence. The story of Tunguska continues to evolve. Scientists are still studying the area using modern technology to analyze lake sediments and tree rings, hoping to find more clues about the object's composition and trajectory. Each new study refines our understanding, but the central enigma remains. The Tunguska Event is both a solved case and an open mystery. It's a stark warning about the very real danger of cosmic impacts, driving us to develop planetary defense. And it's a source of wonder, a story of incredible power and cosmic chance that continues to fascinate and inspire. It reminds us that our universe is wild, unpredictable, and that even a small rock from the vastness of space can unleash a force that defies imagination. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey into one of history's greatest mysteries. What do you think happened at Tunguska? Let me know your theories in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more deep dives into the unknown. We'll see you in the next one.